Welcome along to episode 20 then. This is all about slotted dancing, why we do it, why we try and encourage people to do it as well. Okay, so for those that don't know, there is lots of different types of dancing. None are more correct than the other. The one we generally teach in our area is what we call slotted dancing. So there are 3 lanes on our slot. We have our slow lane, our centre lane, and our fast lane. Generally, ladies, we want you to be going forwards and backwards in this centre lane. Why is that? Well, it means that your technique will always be going back to what we call 6 o'clock, so straight back on that clock face to 6 o'clock, half 6 if you're an advanced dancer, okay? And we want you to be going forwards and backwards in that straight line. It means as a lead, we are going to know where you are going to be, okay? And as a follow, you know which path you're going to be. So again, one of the tips that I often give to people is find the side of a room, and then you can't drift off that way because there's a wall there, for instance, or people or chairs or whatever it may be. What we want to have is that really straight line from the lady's perspective. Now, how do you get to that point is always the question. The ladies go, I will step back in a straight line, I'll go forwards in a straight line, and that's absolutely fine. Now, ladies, I give this tip quite often, but we always talk about going back to 6 o'clock. So our superimposed clock face down on the floor. 12 o'clock is always in front of you, whichever direction you are facing, okay? 6 o'clock is directly behind you. Now, if you are stepping back to 6 o'clock, your natural next step is going to be coming straight forwards to 12 o'clock, okay? Now, what lots of ladies do, they will step back to 4 o'clock. It's not the end of the world. However, what it does mean now naturally is you're going to be going forwards towards 10 o'clock, okay, and out to the side. And then if you put a turn into that, that's when you start to wander and come off to the side. So you always want to make sure, ladies, you are stepping back to 6 o'clock, and therefore if you are going to do a static turn, you're going to be directly on the spot. Okay, so that's the first part from the ladies. Again, what lots of ladies do as they come round is they'll often step out to 3 o'clock even, which again will make you then go off to the side. So there's the first principle. For the ladies, we need you to go back to 6 o'clock. Now, from the lead's perspective, again, you can be in any of those lanes, the slow lane, the centre lane, or the fast lane. That's entirely up to yourselves. And when you are stepping away from your partner, if I turn around this way so you can see, if I step back and I'm staying on that centre lane, my hands are going to be here. In fact, I'll come this way around. Okay, my hands are going to be here. If I step back and I go into the slow lane, my hands are still going to be here. If I step back into the fast lane, guess what? My hands are still in that position there. So although you move your body out of the way, that doesn't mean you move your hands out of the way, because that's going to drag your partner off with them, or with you, I should say. So we always want to make sure our hands stay in the same place no matter where we stand as a lead. And the best advice I can give to leads is get out of the way. Right, so if I'm doing a high first, for instance, as I step out, I will step out to that left hand side. So you can see there's a clear gangway for my partner to go through. I step out, and if I'm doing a travelling return at the very end, I'll stay out of the way so my partner can come through quite clearly. However, if I want them to stay in the slot that they were in, I'll then come back round, got the best view there, and therefore they'll stay on the spot. So that's the basic rule, ladies. If the man is in your way and he's got his shoulders square on, which I'll talk about in a moment, okay, then you need to stay where you are. Don't try and barge past him or get round him in some particular way. Now, this goes back to episode 17, I think it was, or episode 18, which was posture. So men, I often talk to yourselves about having a nice upright posture, and therefore you're really showing off your frame to your partner. Now, why do I talk about that? Well, if I'm stepping back and I've got my shoulders square, so again, if we look at the superimposed clock face, from 9 to 3 o'clock is where I'm talking about with my shoulders at the moment. It's very clear that I want my partner to stay on the spot. I don't want them to get past me. No matter what I'm doing, they will then therefore naturally know that I want them to stay on the spot. If I then step out of the way, again, they can clearly see, or sometimes I'll step out of the way and I'll pivot my body round as well. So again, my partner has a very clear indication they're going to go past me. Now, if I step back and I'm on this halfway position, okay, then from a follow's perspective, they're not really sure if they are going to go past me and off to the side or get past me, and then I bring them forwards and then I block the path off. That can be quite confusing. So men, get out of the way, whichever way you go. If you're doing a left side pass or a right side pass, whichever way you want to be, make sure you're getting out of the way fully. Commit your weight to one way or another. Okay, and then it means that we can do whatever move we want to do. Now, lots of people again talk to me about doing dips and drops, which we'll do on another podcast, or another video I should say. But as a man, the general principle is, if I'm again sideways on and I want my partner to come in front of me here, I will make sure I'm out of the way of my partner so I can therefore get them into the right place. I have to assume that they are going to go forwards and backwards in this straight line. So if I'm doing an inside turn, going into a lean for instance, I want to make sure that they are doing that inside turn with their feet together on the spot. I'm then simply out of the way. If I'm in their way, however, and I try and do that and then I'm wandering them all over the place, is it any wonder that the ladies start to not have all of their balance? So men, main principle, get out of the way, allow the ladies to do whatever they're going to do, and that is our principle on slotted dancing.